And a Saturday matinee between the number 20 Syracuse Orange and the visiting Niagara Purple Eagles. Hello and welcome to Syracuse University alongside Corey Barbarian. I'm Dana Gray, getting you set for the Orange and the Purple Eagles, a matchup that always seems to bring a lot of firepower, a lot of fun, Corey, over the last couple of the years. And even though Syracuse and Niagara only meet up once or twice this season, it seems like there's a lot of hostility between these two.
Certainly, and they met up only once last year. They were going to meet a second time, but the late season suspension for the Orange canceled that matchup. It was senior night at the Kennedy Ice Pavilion, but that matchup was canceled. Niagara and Syracuse, two very good teams. The Orange at 4-2-0, Niagara at 3-3-0. But Niagara is going to see perhaps the best iteration of this Orange side in their team's history in this upstate New York battle. Should be a lot of fun.
Purple Eagles have already been battle-tested, opened up their season just a few weeks ago against Central Oklahoma on the road. That's the team that came away with the ACHA National Championship 2 years ago in Columbus, Ohio. They dropped both contests, but they definitely are no strangers to some tough competition, some top 25 competition. And they travel here today to take on the Orange, donning those pink sweaters for Pink the Rink. It's the second annual Pink the Rink festivities. Last year, Syracuse victorious over NYU 6-2 on that very night. It's the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the team is wanting to do something special. Already raised over $5,000 and more to come today on a very special day at the Kennedy Ice Pavilion. Orange and Purple Eagles on the ice. We'll pause for starting lineups and the national anthem and get you your puck drop just after this. Syracuse looks to make it 2 wins in a row after a split last weekend against the Stony Brook Seawolves, a ranked opponent. They enter in today against the Niagara Purple Eagles, a team with 3 victories already this season. Syracuse 4-2, and the lone losses coming against teams that they would go on to beat either the day prior or the day following. So Syracuse mucking it up with the best of them, and let's meet the starting lineup for the Orange. It'll be the starting second line of Connor McNamara, Trip Franzese, Owen Harrington out there for Connor Tracy, the defense pairing of Stephen Brezzi, Patrick Corcoran, and in net, number 37, the senior Michael Kuzo for the visiting Purple Eagles. Left wing, David Fish. The center, Logan Field. Right wing, Robert McNamara, and the defense pairing of David Haslett and Gibson Stewart. In goal for the visiting Purple Eagles is Curtis Acker. Dana Gray, Corey Barbarian with you at Tennessee, and we are underway. So glad you're along with us. Syracuse in the special pink uniforms for Pink the Rink tonight. The second annual event. Last year, got to do it against NYU at home, and the Orange came out hot, a 6-2 victory. Hoping for a similar result today, Corey, but a big win in that back end against the Seawolves last weekend. Huge in overtime for Nzizi, the hero.
And Ford Hatchett absolutely tenacious on the offensive side, going in on a 3-on-3 rush as the only defenseman and charging up all the way to the goal line to start the overtime, and he ends up assisting on the game-winning goal.
That was a game that Syracuse trailed late in the third period as well. It took a goal from the captain, McNamara, about 5 or 6 minutes to go to even force overtime. Showed some real resolve the night before. They dropped a very tight contest. Could have been very easy for them to just not show up. And they came out firing. Here's Hayward in the slot with some space. Kalinowski trying to feed it right back to him, and Hayward lost his footing. His top line out here for Syracuse. At the point, Luke Cato wearing number 21 today. Along with Ford Hatchett, he's in 55 at the left point. Hatchett waits for it at the blue line. A soft dump in behind the net. And the Purple Eagles get to it, but Hayward to keep it in.
Yeah, Hatchett wearing that number, sorry to interrupt you, but Hatchett wearing the number 55. Last year at Pink the Rink game, we had the game, and he was wearing number 16. We didn't know that.
So he's all over the place. Syracuse with special jerseys tonight. Lucas Prestamo with a 2-side battle in the offensive zone. Over a minute in, no score. Niagara and Syracuse. Rosen can't keep it in at the line. And Syracuse will have to go back. Michael Kuzo back there to touch it up. Senior goaltender has got a record of 1-1 so far this season. Save percentage just over 900. Icing called here on the Orange. Goaltender tonight for the Purple Eagles, Curtis Acker, played in 2 games. And a goals against average sub-1. Just 1 goal against through limited action, only 80 minutes of play. But he's made almost 39 saves as well. Good save percentage, so goaltender that the Eagles want out there for sure against a top 20 team in the nation. Kalinowski can't get to it by the far bench. And Rosen will put on the Jets. Puck deflected up out of play. And the faceoff will stay in the Orange end.
You're talking about the Niagara goalies. Curtis Acker only played 2 games on the year, 1-0. But John Nichols and Grant Zell, the 2 other goalies who are on the bench tonight, not starting, those are the 2 that really took the brunt those Central Oklahoma games. They allowed 14 total goals. Nichols a 5 goals against average, and Grant Zell 4.6. So starting perhaps the 3rd stringer Acker, or maybe it's a 3 goalie competition. They want to see who comes out on top.
Broncos definitely a formidable opponent. No goaltender wants to go up against an offense like that. There's Joey Pucciarelli in the corner, working with Adam Bedford and Connor Preston on this high-powered 4th line for Connor Tracy. Pucciarelli spins away from one check. Tries to staple in the Eagles by the backboards. Brezzi pinches down, keeps the puck alive by the far side circle. Now Niagara can clear out to center. A 3-3 record at 500. Not too far of a road trip. Just about 2 hours to make it down here to Tennessee. Let's see if Syracuse can jump on them early. Those bus legs always can be a factor no matter the trip.
Yeah, and SU's going to have to go to Niagara later in the year. A 7-4 win the last time SU went to Niagara Falls last season. Of course, as I said, Niagara was supposed to come here to Tennessee, but earned that game as a 1-0 decision because of the SU suspension a year ago. So they technically split the season series last year.
Hayward, Harrington, and McNamara out there. And Syracuse to the power play. Just a few minutes in, it's Patrick Corcoran working with Ford Hatchett at the top of the line, patiently setting things up, tries to feed it across for Hayward, and the pass just a touch deflected. Peter Owen keeps it alive. Corcoran playing catch with Hatchett. He feeds Hayward down, and a nice save made by Acker on the doorstep. Corcoran surveying his options near side. Puck deflected behind the net, and Hatchett, the defenseman, all the way below the goal line. Possessing on the far side. Forces a pass in, and that allows the easy clear for the Purple Eagles. Send it down towards Michael Kuzo. Still a minute 15 remaining on the man advantage.
Orange almost had that quick little pass in front for Hayward. They like getting cute on their power plays. Did against Stony Brook with those passes in front. Looking to do so here on their first chance.
Here's Trip Franzese over the red line. Now the blue. Leaves it back for Preston coming in. He was hauled down. No call.
There is a call.
Prestamo, the back judge, got it. Wrist shot in. Tipped on, and a save made by Acker.
Yeah, only one referee had his hand up, and he was the guy back in the neutral zone.
Sure looked pretty
obvious. It's going to be a 5-on-3.
To make it 53 seconds of 5-on-3 time for the Orange to work with in just the first 4 minutes of play. And that'll bring Connor Tracy to let out the top line once again of Hayward, Harrington, and McNamara. Defense pairing of Hatchett and Corcoran.
So
Hayward.
The captain Gazowitz and the starting left winger Fish are both in the box for Niagara. 2 big losses.
Limited penalty killers for Niagara. Corcoran has it. Walking in, feeds Hatchett. His shot deflected by Harrington right on net. And a save made by Acker, getting the pads down. Second time in about a minute that SU has tried that combination play out in front, right at the lip of the blue.
And Harrington, a great guy to do that. On the lower six for the SU forwards on the third line last year with Pucciarelli and Christian Van Heck, a speed line. He's the type of guy you want to muck it up in front.
Corcoran for Hatchett. Bunts it down low for Hayward at the goal line. Ford gets it right back to his right for Corcoran. Stops and starts. 30 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. McNamara all the way across for Owen Hayward, and he bumped it. Hatchett fakes the shot, now takes it. Pad save by Acker, and the rebound to the boards. Corcoran walking his way in, and the shot is deflected off the body of Justin Crawford, up and out of play.
Well, Hatchett leads the team in assists for a reason. He loves taking those blue line shots and getting either tips or rebounds. He's got 6 assists, leads the entire team, and Corcoran getting involved too with a couple of shots on that 5-on-3.
Just 9 seconds of 5-on-3 time remaining. SU's got to hurry. Hatchett dangles, holding on his backhand. Peels it back for Harrington. Corcoran straight away. Now 5-on-4. They find Hayward down by the circles. And the pass didn't connect with McNamara. He was set up all alone. And still some time of 5-on-4 to work with, though. Just under a minute. And Peter Owen revamps over the blue line, going 1 against 3. Teammates in the midst of a change, going all the way around the net. Finds Preston straight off the bench. Dropping it back for Luke Cato. Back to Hatchett. His shot deflected, score. Lucas Prestamo right on the doorstep, and Syracuse converts on the power play. It's 1-0 Orange.
You could almost see something like that coming. The Orange trying those tip plays, combination plays in front. And Prestamo, fresh off the bench, has his first goal of 2018.
A deflection from Hatchett, not a ton of power on that shot from Ford. Clearly going for the tip.
That's how Ford gets his assist. That's number 7 on the year.
And it squirts through Curtis Acker, goaltender for the Purple Eagles, and SU with a 1-0 lead, 5 minutes into regulation. Had time on the 5-on-3, couldn't convert. And they get the marker on the 5-on-4, and looking for more here, Joey Pucciarelli going one-on-one with reinforcements coming. Pucciarelli slides it to the far side. Now back for Rosen straight away. He plunks a slap shot in behind the net. Waiting for it, Adam Bedford, the 4th line out for Syracuse with a 1-0 lead. Padalino, his shot on net, and a save made by Acker. Charging forward, Robert McNamara for the Purple Eagles. Feeds it out, and Kuzo with a great save, moving left to right. Denies Logan Field right out in front. Good first chance for the Purple Eagles, trying to respond quickly.
That was really the first big shot on Kuzo, who stands tall. That's the first shot on goal, actually. 7-1, the Orange leading in shots.
Ains fighting for it on the far side. Rosen staples in his man. It's Frank Vecchia. Ains gets to it once again, looking for the clear, and he has no choice but to send it all the way down the rink. This will be icing. It's a tough foot race for Hayward to win. And the faceoff to come back in towards Michael Kuzo territory. As you mentioned, Corey, hadn't made a stop. That was not an easy first one to have to make.
You know, if you're a goalie, you like to get warmed up with some easy shots. Not that time. Thrown right into the fire, and he makes it out alive.
Nice poke check.
Another one.
Right out in the blue paint, and somehow Michael Kuzo keeps it out straight off the draw. Syracuse was a bit discombobulated, and Kuzo was left out to dry. Once again, though, standing tall. Two very difficult saves for the senior goaltender to keep SU in front.
Yeah, he reached back to the goal line to his right with his stick. That was a save with the paddle.
That second try went off the outside of the net. Just a tough angle to fight through. But still, Kuzo holding his ground as Prestamo leans in against Nichols.
So Niagara's had 2 shots, and they've all been superior chances.
Morrow tosses it out into the slot. Nobody home for Syracuse. That starts the rush back the other way. David Hazlitt sends in. First in for the Purple Eagles, Andrew Parrish. And Syracuse dumps out to neutral ice. 13 minutes remaining in the opening period of play. 1-0 lead for the Orange thanks to the Lucas Prestamo power play goal. Stephen Brezzi fighting for it and sent all the way back down by Morrow. They wave off the icing. Prestamo trying to reach for it. Van Heck, a great keep of the blue line. Slapped down by Prestamo. Sticked aside by Acker. And back out to center. Luke Cato indirect off the boards. Doesn't read the geometry right. And it gets past McNamara. Purple Eagles with it near side. And some time and space for Holmes Lynn, who gets stood up by Hatchett on the near side boards, trying to gain entry. Hatchett, an ill-advised pass, though, out into the slot. A shot is blocked away from McNamara. That might have been McNamara shooting and McNamara blocking. And we stay 1-0, 8 minutes into this first period. Romano sends it away, a touch pass that Corcoran is happy to intercept. Looking for Harrington by the backboards. Connor Preston digging for it to his side with Franzese hovering in front of the net. Harrington knocked down, and the puck rimmed to the far side. Corcoran, a soft backhand in. Harrington paying a lot of price on this shift to keep possession. Franzese in the corner. Nice hit from Harrington. Maybe a bit too high. Looks like he's going to the box.
May have been away from the play, interference.
To McNamara at the goal line. Circles his way around. Preston knocks him off the puck. Syracuse will touch up and go shorthanded for the first time today. Owen Harrington, the guilty party.
Well, Harrington, you said, paid a heavy price on that shift. I said he was that muck-it-up kind of guy. He and Pucciarelli on that line last year, a terrific third line. He's the guy. He and Pucciarelli are the 2 players for the Orange who will really get physical. And those are the type of bottom 6 forwards you want. Unfortunately, when you try to get too physical, you hit somebody away from the play. Interference, 2-minute power play for Niagara.
Also someone you love to have on your penalty kill, Owen Harrington. He sits for 2 minutes for interference. And a chance for the Purple Eagles to respond with a power play goal of their own. Vecchio straight away sets up the one-timer from Hazlitt. And it screams wide of Kuzo out to center. This penalty kill for the Orange. Known for keeping time out of their own zone. And a forward pairing of Van Heck and Pucciarelli that take up a ton of minutes and force turnovers just like that and kill off more valuable time.
The special teams was such a huge component of the SU split against Stony Brook. Really cleaned it up in Game 2 when they got the win.
Over the line, Ryan Peters pulls up by the circle, feeds across, and a great back check from McNamara. He read it all the way, and he spanks it down. Halfway through this power play for Niagara, 1-0 advantage for the Cuse. Getting fresh skaters on penalty killers for Syracuse of McNamara, Preston waiting in neutral ice. Sent in, Kuzo stops it for Hatchett, puts it on a tee. His clear try fails the first time, but Preston picks up the loose change, going 1 against 2 over the blue line. Down a man, Connor Preston takes a big hit. And Syracuse can get new penalty killers out on the ice. Rush started, though. Back up the other way. Corcoran, great defense, following with his player all the way. And Syracuse has an outlet to clear in Pucciarelli. Colin Morrow trying to dangle past the defenseman of Gibson Stewart. And we're down to 10 seconds to go on this power play for Niagara.
And no shots for the Purple Eagles on this power play.
Sent in at the red line by Smolka. Gets past Kuzo. Back to 5-on-5 hockey. Brezzi pirouettes away from the pressure. And the Orange, a perfect 1-for-1 so far on the PK. Pucciarelli wants transition, streaking down the right side. His shot goes wide to the far right post. Rosen changing, and now transition for the Purple Eagles. It's Field feeding it all the way to Cross, and Kuzo with another stop. Michael Kuzo goes post to post once again. Denies the Purple Eagles right in front of the net. The shot from Parrish gobbled up, and Syracuse maintains the advantage. Just the third shot, as you mentioned there, Corey. All of them have been high percentage. Here's Peter Owen Hayward by the circle, looking for option, pulls up, has a trailer, and Ains, it's just off his tape. And that starts the outlet for Parrish back the other way. .8:30 remaining in the first period. Syracuse up a goal on Niagara. Their lone game of the weekend. Icing called here on SU. So just 60 minutes of hockey to focus on. When you look back last weekend, you had 120. Actually, make it even more with the overtime of high competitiveness. What SU's got to make sure is they don't play down to their competition in a game like this.
Yeah, and you only have one game to get a win against a team you theoretically should beat. That's what SU is thinking right now. A team they should beat. They're up 1-0. If they win today, they don't have to play tomorrow, and they get 7 whole days of saying, hey, we're out winners.
Off the draw, 2 stops made by Kuzo. The initial try off the tape of Parrish, and he got the rebound as well. Ains fitting it to the left for McNamara over the line. Saucer pass a little too hot for Harrington. McNamara dangling by the circle all the way across for Franzese. And just a bit tied up with his own stick. Shot from Hatchett comes all the way in on Acker, and he gets the rebound all the way to the far boards. There's McNamara spinning in the high slot. Loops it in for Franzese. McNamara gets to it once again. Nice cycle game here from the Orange. And finally, the Purple Eagles will dump out to center. Ford Hatchett thought about quick transition, forgot the puck though. Into the skates of Harrington. Retrieved by Kaftanov. Pavel Kaftanov, the defenseman for Niagara. Backhands out to center. And the Orange can go right back into the zone. Prestamo pulls up. And his feet just a bit wide. Morrow keeps in at the right point. Nice chick from Van Heck. Sends down Hazlitt. And the Orange doing a great job of just continuous possession, rotating and rolling 4 lines. Brezzi steps up, gets past Prestamo, and Steven has to skate all the way back into his own end. Already 9 shots on goal. Feels like it could be a lot more there, Corey.
Yeah, this SU team's playing small ball. Niagara's going for home runs.
Kaftanov over the line, runs into the stick check of Corcoran, and Syracuse goes 3-on-3. Van Heck has to hold up for a moment, gets past the defending of Vecchio. But now some time and space for Robert McNamara. Over the line, he's got a teammate in Smolka to his left, trying to go one-on-one against Rosen. He gets past him, puts it out to the slot, and they score. David Fish pots it past the blocker of Kuzo. And we're all tied up at 1 with 6:14 to go in the first.
Yeah, Fisher took an early penalty in the game, part of the 5-on-3 for the Orange that led to their only goal. They keep trying those passes in front, and Kuzo's been able to miraculously get over on all of the previous chances. He actually got a piece of that one, I think, with the stick as he leapt across the crease, but could not get enough of it, and Niagara's even things up.
That's all set up by Robert McNamara. He took the attention of two of the SU defenders, left Fish all alone in the slot. And the Purple Eagles respond here in the first. Another shot in, that right into the catch of Kuza. And he'll hold for a face-off to his left.
No surprise why this game yielded 11 goals over in Niagara last year, a 7-4 SU result. Plenty of shots, plenty of chances on both sides. Only 2 goals, surprisingly, 16 shots.
Gazowitz leans in with Pucciarelli for the draw. Joey wins it back for Stephen Brezzi. D up the far side. And Syracuse breaks out. Can't keep possession, though. The captain, Gazowitz, back in over the line. And this forced line picks up the physicality, trying to respond to the recent marker by the Purple Eagles. Corcoran winds up the slapper. Put out a tee by Bedford for Pucciarelli. And the breakout successful. Far side, Romano moves the puck away from the oncoming Connor Preston. And Hayward in on a forecheck wins the puck. Preston by the corner, leaves it down. Padalino, his wrist shot in on net. The rebound still loose in the blue paint. Pucciarelli going for it. Preston as well. No goal as Curtis Acker was down in the snowman trying to keep it out of the net. That first shot from Padalino seemed like it gave him some trouble, a bit knuckling from the blue line.
That's the Orange game plan, those defensive shots, the shots from the defensemen, getting rebounds in front, getting tip drills. They already scored on one of those plays. And Acker's been pretty well. 10 saves already, has faced a barrage of Orange shots and quality chances by a talented SU offense.
Clear that SU's trying to get bodies in front of the net, disrupt his vision. Almost worked there. The sophomore goalie stands tall. Here's Padalino walking the line for Ains, right out in front, and Hayward scores! Syracuse regains the lead thanks to its leading scorer, and Peter Owen Hayward puts SU up 2-1.
Well, we talked about getting pucks to the front of the net, exactly what the Orange do, and Peter Owen Hayward right there to pick up the loose change in the blue. SU responds right back.
Nice combination play out in front. That top line building some chemistry with Kalinowski and Ames. And Syracuse takes the lead right back. And here's Owen Harrington throwing it all the way through the crease. It went off the pad of Acker. Straight away for Cato, wrist shot. Canacorn for Acker, and they'll hold for a draw. 4:41 to go in this first period. The Orange with a 2-1 lead, goals from Hayward and Lucas Prestamo.
Another reason, Dana, why this game is big for the Orange, being only a 1-game set here on a Saturday. They play Delaware next Friday and Saturday here at Kennedy, a very good team in the division. Big 4 points up for grabs. They want to go win it, having won their last 2.
Harrington got chopped at from behind. Couldn't get the shot on net. He has it here now, looking for Franzese in the slot. And the combination just a hair off. Nice step up from Cato to force the Purple Eagles back on their heel. They haven't really had a clean entry into the zone in quite some time. Syracuse doing a nice job of stacking up the neutral zone. David Fish, the lone goal scorer, leaves it for Franzese in the slot. Nobody wants to pick it up, and finally Acker will go stick to glove and get a whistle. Bit sloppy play here from the visitors. They did get the 1 tally, though that was off a defensive breakdown for SU.
Yeah, Fish just left that puck. I don't know who he was trying to leave it to. Hey, Franzese was the only man there in the middle of the slot, and he overskated the puck.
Maybe just so surprised that it even left for him.
That does happen sometimes.
Corcoran pinches down the boards. Prestamo almost steals it by the circle. Van Heck applying the pressure. Just absolute dogged determination from this bottom 6 grouping for SU. They just hawk after the puck at every second of play.
It's great to have 4 lines that there's no bad line. They can all produce on offense. All of them can get physical. That's what Connor Tracy's got right now.
Especially when you have defense pairing of well that maybe each have their own talents. you've got some more offensive-minded guys. And players like Stephen Brezzi right here that can start out of brush, has got great speed. And then more of your stay-at-home defensemen. A balanced group for SU and good goaltending to boot as well. We've got all the way up to number 20 in the national ranking. No icing as Bedford nixes it in the corner. Double teamed up towards the doors. Good amount of fans here on Pink the Rink night as Syracuse tries to go 2 for 2 back-to-back years in this event. Just a great day that SU has already raised over $5,000 for breast cancer awareness. Over the line, the Purple Eagles come, and it sits for Pucciarelli. He gets tripped up, no call. That was Frank Vecchio, who had the step to the net on the backhand. Sent all the way down off the glass. Pucciarelli will win the race, forces Acker all the way out, and he puts his glove on it.
You can't do that.
That's going to be a penalty for sure. Not really sure what Acker was thinking. He had some time to play it if he was just a little more decisive.
Well, in that Stony Brook game, the second one.
Or maybe they're not going to call a penalty.
Well, the goalie was given a game misconduct. He sat in the penalty box in full pads.
There's no trapezoid that limits the
But he covered it behind the net.
But he did cover it behind the goal line. Nevertheless, SU will set up offensively with their top line. If Acker knows the rule book, then props to him. Ains straight away. Cato's shot blocked out in front. The rebound from Hayward is stopped by Acker. Great combination saves from the Purple Eagles goaltender, keeping his team in this in the final 2 minutes of the first period. SU up a goal.
Gibson Stewart took a shot off the leg through a screen.
Here's Logan Field over the line. A shot and a save made by Kuzo into the glove. Just under 100 ticks remaining. Like to see the response from SU so quickly after Niagara tied things up, showing that it'll be relentless offense for what you would think of 60 minutes. Off the draw, Romano at the point. Sends it around the wheel. David Fish, the lone goal scorer for the Purple Eagles, saves it by the boards, and Brezzi has an outlet in Harrington. It jumps over his stick, though. Nice dangle at the line by Romano. Stood up, and Stephen Brezzi, the defenseman, leading the charge. Over the blue line, pulling up, waiting for a trailer. He finds it, and Harrington, his one-timer, is wide. The rebound is stopped off of McNamara. Puck is loose, but the net comes off its moorings. And Curtis Acker has been busy, making his 18th save of just the first period.
And on that pass across to Harrington, there wasn't a lot of mustard on that pass, but Harrington still got a good shot away.
He didn't really have to. A lot of time and space for Owen to let it rip, but it stayed on the ice and missed wide. 1:08 remaining in this first period, and SU controls off the offensive draw. Rosen can't send it past Logan Field. Goes right over to the block S at center, and Van Heck dumps in. Prestamo first in on the forecheck at the goal line, forces the turnover. Van Heck out in front, mucking for it, and they score! Christian Van Heck doubles the SU advantage with his first goal of the season, and the Orange leads it 3-1.
So far, that's 2 goals from that third line. Prestamo had an earlier one, and now Van Heck. The bottom 6 forwards you just talked about, right on cue. Van Heck comes through for the first time.
That puck was loose right on the pad, the right one of Curtis Acker. If you want to score, you go to the dirty areas. And Van Heck has made a living of working right in the blue paint. He does just that, and SU doubles the advantage.
That's been Syracuse's offensive strategy. Just go to the paint and try to put one through. 3 times they've been successful in one period. I'd keep going back to it.
Well, it's an offense that can score in many different ways, whichever the game plan that fits better for the opponent. Whatever the scouting report was on the Purple Eagles, they are going hard and fast right at the goaltender. Puck dropped to the right of Acker in the final 30 seconds of the first period. Lead pass ahead, trying to find the tape of Peters, and a great back check from Cato. Nixes that in his own end. floated near side. Cato high off glass sends it in. The Orange going for one last change with 15 seconds to go in the first period. Hayward fresh off the bench, can't keep it in, and it flips up into the penalty box with 9.8 remaining. SU with a good start. Goals from Prestamo, Van Heck, and no surprise, Hayward. Peter Owen's 6th of the year. His 66th all-time in an orange sweater. Make it pink today. Sent into the Niagara end. Acker stops it and feeds it actually for Hayward. But the clock will run out. Horn sounds it penalty. And after 20 minutes of play, SU with a 3-1 advantage over Niagara. A good start for the Orange. They do give up the equalizer to David Fish, but they bounce right back with a couple of goals. One coming from that third line, the other from their top goal scorer. A lot to like there, Corey, but also some things to clean up, especially defensively. A few odd man rushes that could have been a lot worse if Michael Kuzo didn't make some good early stops.
Yeah, allowing it passes across the crease, circle to circle. And if Kuzo hadn't stopped 3 incredible saves, or 3 incredible shots, this could be a 3-2 or perhaps tied game. Kuzo's been a rock in net for the Orange, and the one goal Niagara scored, he had little to no chance. So clean up the defensive errors and keep doing what you're doing on offense. Should be a good ride for the last 40 for the Orange.
Syracuse 3, Niagara 1 after the first period of play at the Tenley Ice Pavilion. Pink the rink night. A lot of fans have come out, and the Orange is putting on a show early offensively. 3 goals through 20 minutes of play. We'll take a break for the intermission and come back with the second period and more right here on the SU Hockey Network.
Rosen, Franzese feeling the pressure. Preston with some fresh legs. In the slot, turns and hits the post. SU keeps it alive. Rosen sends it around the roulette wheel, right off the bench. Trying to keep the play alive as SU gets new legs on the ice. Some tired skaters for Niagara. Smolka staked over in, and SU takes the puck away. Cucciarelli. Rosen, Bedford. Looking for Preston. That is from the second. Rosen keeps it in again. A shot off the body of Daniel Smolka. And finally Niagara can clear. As McNamara comes over the line and draws the penalty. And Lawrence touches up. After a minute of offensive pressure for SU, Lawrence will be a man down and Rosen goes to the second of the hand. And we'll have power play upcoming for the Purple Eagles. Rosen's hit for two.
Syracuse for David Rosen.
First of the game.
And that's Rosen.
Through the second period.
6 minutes,
Corcoran and
59
Bradley, the defensive pairing out there on the PK for SU, battling for it. Corcoran wins it. Sends it into some space for Harrington. He gets into it. Takes a huge to make the play, but does send it down the wing. David Haslett finishing the hit. 30 seconds gone in the advantage. Good speed over the line, Vecchia. Gets split up by Vito Brezzi, and Van Heck will backhand it down the rink. Cucciarelli showing off the wheels. One-on-one with Gazowitz, and they'll let it fly. Lead pass finds the waiting stick of Hatchet, and it frees his clear out to neutral ice. And hand pass. We're on Niagara with 1:07 remaining in the power play for the Purple Eagles. Blocking out shots.
Apologies for audio issues. We've been having them all season, and looks like we should be good to go now.
1 minute to go in the power play for Niagara. Syracuse with an offensive zone draw as the PK goes to work, trying to make it 2 for 2 on the kill. Hatchet's clear, goes into the body of Franzese. He gets knocked down. The play continues. Smolka forced all the way outside by Cato and pulls up with 45 to go on the power play. Near side circle, it's Justin Crawford. Crawford holding, looking for options. Off the leg of Robert McNamara, right in front of the cage. But Niagara maintains possession. Time ticking down to the power play, an errant pass. That's a big help for SU. 25 seconds to go on the power play. And they get fresh skaters on. Gibson Stewart, lead pass through neutral ice, finds Justin Crawford, a pirouette over the line by the circle, and a sharp angle shot is gobbled up by Kuzo. He'll hold with 10 ticks to go on the power play.
That's a win for the Orange on the power play, on the penalty kill, forcing a tough angle shot. Kuzo able to get his entire body on top of it. And a face-off zone win and a zone clearance ends the power play. Just 10 seconds left.
Parrish leans in for the draw with Prestamo. Eagles control with 5 seconds on the power play. Rosen about to exit the box. Padalino finds space with Prestamo. One-on-one over the line. A soft backhand in on net. And Acker to his right to get the face-off with 10:55 to go in the second period. 3-3 game. SU built a 3-1 advantage after 20 minutes of play. But 2 goals from the Purple Eagles have knotted us even. It was Daniel Smolka 2 minutes into the frame, and then off the ensuing face-off, Robert McNamara in on a breakaway. Ties the game at 3. Brezzi's shot deflected and right post. Up and out of play. This line's been good so far, Corey, for SU, of McNamara alongside Franzese and Harrington. Made for a good chance, but another blocker save from Acker. He's been doing it all with the pads, the glove. Whatever it takes to keep the puck out.
Yeah, that second line, that third line's come up with 2 goals. First line's been sort of quiet aside from one Hayward goal, which for him is quiet.
Shot off the draw from Preston is saved. I think it is fair to say when you're averaging a point a game over your time, and Peter Owen in his 3rd year with the program.
Oh, 2 points per game, a goal per game for Hayward.
Yeah. Spinning by the boards, it's Bedford with Pucciarelli, the 4th line out there for SU. Bedford forces the turnover, takes a huge hit by the glass. The Purple Eagles still can't clear. Brezzi keeps it in, chucks it into an area far side, and Bedford wasn't looking for it. Backhanded out, and Brezzi, creative touch at the red line, sends it in. 10-minute mark of the second period, halfway through, 3-3 game, as the Purple Eagles have fought back against the number 20 Orange after trailing by 2 goals after the first period. Hayward gets to it, puts it into the slot. Ains had his stick tied up, and Niagara can skate back the other way. Padalino tries to baseball it out of midair. Niagara, in the midst of a change, sure looked like they had 6 skaters on there. Refs keep their arm down. Padalino over the line, feeds to Hayward, and he scores! Peter Owen Hayward bar down his 2nd goal of the contest, and SU leads once again.
You want to say it with me? Filth. Hayward able to pick the corner. 3-on-2 rush. They sent it out on the wing. I was expecting a feed to the slot or between the circles, and Hayward just rips it par down himself, and the Orange back in front.
Just sick from Peter Owen. His 7th goal of the season. We've come to expect it. And an odd man rush. Tip of the cap to Padalino as well. The defenseman decided to lead that rush, went right down the gut of the slot and drew some attention, especially when Hayward usually doesn't have a whole lot of time and space. But SU now leads it 4-3. 9 minutes to go. His hatchet shot goes off the tip of the glove of Acker to the backboards. Van Heck battling in the corner. Can't hold on to possession as Field scrapes it away. Hatchet will pinch, though, near side, applying the pressure on Hazlitt. Forces the turnover. Prestamo backhands far side. Harrington fresh off the bench. Now Cato in front of the Orange bench. Van Heck hauled down to the slot, no call. And the Purple Eagles will skate out to center. It's the captain, David Hazlitt. Dumps in behind the net. Luke Cato wearing number 21 today. A soft touch up and into neutral ice. SU back to safety, and the Purple Eagles touch up.
It's going to be a penalty here, I think.
A whistle from the referee. 8:30 to go in the second period.
Well, the ref had his arm up, talking to the coach right now, the Niagara bench.
And it looks like it'll be Niagara. David Fish, who started the scoring for the Purple Eagles, will sit for 2 minutes. I believe that might have been a high stick.
Yeah.
So the assistant captain for Niagara sits for 2 minutes, and the Orange power play back to work. Already a goal that came in the first period. Trying to double the lead once again, but right off the draw, a quick clear for Niagara.
Second penalty that Fish has taken. Again, part of the 5-on-3 the Orange had, the first goal of the game.
SU had just under a minute of 5-on-3 time to work with. They couldn't convert in the ensuing 5-on-4. It was the goal from Lucas Prestamo off the deflection. Ford Hatchet shooting it from the point. Minute 30 to go on the advantage for the Orange. Prestamo near side. Slides it back for Brezzi, quarterback in the power play along with Luke Cato. Brezzi, his shot is patted away by Acker. The rebound to the far boards. Prestamo feeding Franzese, and he scores! Tic-tac-toe on the power play, and SU is out in front 5-3.
Well, last weekend's overtime hero gives the Orange insurance on the power play. That one was a pretty shallow feed into the slot. That was well into the high slot, and a knuckler off the stick of Hayward. I think that confused Acker there as it just fumbled into the net.
Trip Franzese's 3rd goal of the season. Notched one on Saturday against Stony Brook, obviously the overtime winner. And this one on the power play. And the Orange back with a 2-goal lead once again. Here's Pucciarelli dropping it for Van Heck in the slot. He shoots and a save by Acker. That pass just a little bit behind Christian. He had to pull up for it. Did get the shot through, and 7:34 to go in the second period. A good response. It's been a game of waves here, Corey. SU with the initial push. They lead after 2 goals going into that first intermission. Niagara comes right back. And now a deuce put up by the Cuse. Transition time, though, for Niagara. It's Peters shooting, and he scores. Well, if you like goals, we got a good one. Ryan Peters beats Kuzo blocker side. Just like that, it's a 1-goal game once again, 5-4 SU.
A 2-on-2 that becomes a 2-on-1. Patrick Corcoran was turned around in his offensive zone as they pushed the blue line and flied out of the zone. And he was left out to dry. Just a 2-on-1 that resulted in a bad back check on the part of Corcoran that time for SU. Burying one far side on the play was Peters.
It's Peters' 4th goal of the year. And it brings the Purple Eagles back within 1. McNamara by the circle, leaves for Harrington. Attempting to find Franzese. And the puck trickles out of the zone. Rosen, a good stop in neutral ice. And Harrington will jet in down to an E. Puck falls for him. And he couldn't set up McNamara. Under 7 minutes to go in the second period. Great response on numerous occasions from Niagara. Not going away easily. Harrington in a great battle far side with Gazowitz. Wins it into the zone. Gets past McNamara, holding with it is the other McNamara. And Connor gets a shot right on in front. A nice save by Acker. Second line for the Cuse, getting more and more minutes. And finally, Niagara to send it out to neutral ice. It's Robert McNamara going one-on-one against Corcoran. Padalino in his own end. Curling back, goes high off glass, and it hits the stanchion up out of play. 6:06 to go in the second period. Pink the Rink night, just getting word that with the donations today from the fans that have mounted and come out to see the game today, over $6,000 raised now by the SU hockey program. Really, really great gesture from all involved, players, interns, coaching staff, and obviously the fans and parents that have come together for a really, really great cause. And that's why the Orange wears pink today. Hand pass called on SU.
And doubling their donation total. It was $3,000 last year, wasn't it?
It was
up
indeed.
to $6 already. We're not even done yet.
Getting close to 10 grand between 2 years. A wonderful gesture from the Orange. And SU with a 1-goal lead with 6 minutes remaining in the second period. Ains wins the defensive zone draw back for Corcoran. Steady defenseman for SU goes off glass for Hayward into space for Ains over the blue line, feeling the back pressure. Pulls up and backhands it behind the net. Kalinowski a little late to get to it. Hazlitt got there first. Vecchio takes a big chip from Hayward, but he holds on to the puck and sends it out to center where Corcoran is waiting. Just a hair offsides. Kalinowski and Hayward couldn't tag up in time. And a face-off to come at neutral ice. Game of waves, Corey, as we talked about. I don't think that Coach Tracy and Walensky were too pleased with that opening 20 minutes. And even with these 2 goals that SU has scored to respond, I'm not quite sure they're going to be very happy with what's transpired here in the second. As Vecchio walks in and shoots it off Kuza.
It was a flat first 10 minutes of the second period before SU finally woke up.
Behind the goal line, Andrew Parrish fending off the pressure from Prestamo. Lucas gets to it now. 3v2 battling with Cato waiting for the puck to squirt free. Gets to it now. A touch up the boards and a great play there from Colin Morrow to get it up, heck out of dodge, and into neutral ice. Changes for the defense pairing for Syracuse. Rosen and Padalino onto the ice, and David keeps it in at the left point. He takes a big hit, but does move the puck further down the rink. Van Heck has it stripped off his stick, rimmed around by Hazlitt, waiting for it, Padalino at the point. Prestamo trying to bunt it for Morrow, and a nice skating display from Vecchio to get away from the pressure and outlet it for Hazlitt. He spins away from one check, takes the other from Pucciarelli, and Rosen will start the rush in. Numbers for Cuse if they want it. Rosen in on net, the rebound loose, and finally covered up. Orange players celebrating. The puck might have trickled in past the red line, but a whistle had already blown. It was the sophomore Adam Bedford down on both his knees in the blue paint trying to push it past.
Yeah, and Acker had that puck under the glove. Quick whistle by the official, but the puck was under his glove, and Pucciarelli went charging, barreling into him, and pushed it perhaps over the line. Maybe that puck did squirt free, as you said, but the official blew the whistle long before. 26 saves already for Acker in net. Still got 24 minutes to go.
Well, when you face 31 shots, those saves are going to mount as well. He's let 5 goals past him. And just from my memory, there's not much that he could do about most of those goals. Same with Michael Kuzo. Kind of left out to dry by both of their respective decors, especially Michael Kuzo. A breakaway and another one-on-one chance where he didn't get a lot of help from the defense. SU does lead 5-4, though, with 4:09 remaining in the second period.
I think Kuzo wants that 4th goal back, goes far side low. Kuzo definitely wants that one back, but the other 3, no chance.
Off the draw, Corcoran sends it in back by the goal line. Preston takes a big hit, and Pucciarelli digs it out. Straight away back for the point with Corcoran's shot that was deflected away and knocked down by a high stick. Finally, the whistle blows. It only took the entire Orange bench and 3 seconds for the whistle.
Is it safe to say they were clamoring for that whistle? They were all up in arms thinking it wasn't going to get called. Would have been a 2-on-1 had the officials say play on, but you can't not see that.
Under 4 to go, Franzese leaning in for the draw against Gazwitz. Puck is dropped and it floats to the backboards. Franzese working with McNamara and Harrington on the second line. They've contributed for a couple goals already today. Tripp digs it out of the corner. McNamara dangles away by the circle, tries to turn the corner, and sends it in for Harrington. Padalino pinches in, shoots, and it's blocked away. McNamara trying to feed all the way through the humanity for Franzese. He gets it to him, but the Purple Eagles are there and push it over the blue line. Rosen feeling the back pressure. Peters, most recent goal scorer for Niagara, in on the forecheck. Rosen a nice job to get it away. And the Orange can break out. Rosen. Now McNamara dangles away from the check. And just a hair behind Owen Harrington. Purple Eagles will gain the line. It's McNamara. That Robert. Now Connor. Isn't that fun? 2 McNamaras. Both 2 guys that are offensively minded for each side.
At least they're not wearing the same number.
That's true. 13, Robert McNamara for Niagara. Connor, usually number 11, wearing 45 tonight. With SU sporting the pink jerseys. Under 3 to play in the second period. Squirts out for Hatchett. A touch in to the stick of Acker. Playing in just his 3rd game. A .975 save percentage entering today. He was 1-0. As Ains walks in the slot, shoots, and a glove save by Acker. He just got a piece of it. And a penalty upcoming against the Purple Eagles. Or maybe it's against Ains.
Well, Ains went down. I think Ains took a shot and went down. Orange bench wanted a call.
And I think they're going to get Ains
for
the retaliation, the slash.
It was Ains who went down on the play, but Ains was the second man in. Retaliation's always going to get called.
Tyler definitely took a hit to get that shot off. They came very close to scoring. But now Niagara back to the power play. The SU penalty kill been 2 for 2 so far. They've looked very workmanlike per usual. But playing with fire against a Niagara team that's already put up 4 goals past Michael Kuza. Corcoran waits for it and sends it back in with Ains in the box in the final 2 minutes of the second period. Niagara will be on the power play for almost the entirety of these last few seconds, unless they should score and tie this game up. Stopped at the blue line by Vecchio, but he flips it into his own bench with the oncoming pressure of Pucciarelli and a fresh penalty kill change for Syracuse.
Yeah, and backup goaltender John Nichols couldn't get a glove on that puck into the bench.
Don't think we're going to see a goalie change for either side. Not to speculate here in the second period, but as we've touched on, it's not that, even though there's been 9 goals, neither of these goaltenders have played awfully bad.
Well, it's also the margin only being 1. If it were 5-2, 5-1, perhaps we'd see it.
Very tight game with a lot of momentum shifts as we approach the last minute of the second. And a whistle as Harrington has got it tied up to the boards along with Holmes Lynn. Referees deciding to blow it dead. With 1:08 going in the second, 1:05 to go on the power play. Should Ains get out of the box, not on a goal, he might have a couple of seconds to make a go out of it down the ice. Shot whistles past Kuzo. The rebound pops up the near side, and Smolka lifted it over the bar. Kuzo was moving right to left, but a lot of his body was in the lower portion of the net. But Smolka just couldn't pick the top corner.
And he had that top corner wide open. Already has 1 goal, looking to make it 2 and even things up on the power play.
40 seconds to go in the advantage. Purple Eagles gain the line, but Preston will spank it down the rink. McNamara out for some penalty killing duties along with Peter Owen Hayward. A couple of upperclassmen trying to kill off this last-minute penalty and give SU the advantage going into the break. Over the line, offsides as McNamara gained the line. But just a hair off. Justin Crawford, I believe, right in front of his own bench. Couldn't straddle it.
He wiped out on the seat of his pants as he slid across the line. And unfortunately, McNamara brought it after him.
So here's the situation, 19.8 to go in the second. 15 seconds remaining on the power play for Niagara. Possibly time for one last rush. Gibson Stewart, the defenseman for Niagara, sends it ahead, finds the tape of Robert McNamara. In stride for Fish over the line, sends up the one-timer off the tape of Smolka, and he airmailed it once again. The Orange playing with fire as Daniel Smolka had 2 phenomenal looks in the last minute of play of the second period. Can't knot us even. And it's 5-4 going into the third period. Corey, it's going to be a fun final 20 minutes. Though you'd have to think the Orange maybe not playing up to its full capacity. They do seem to do this sometimes, playing down to their competition.
Yeah, certainly a more productive period for Niagara. The Orange with even more defensive errors after we highlighted that in the first period, allowing 3 goals and nearly allowing a game-tying goal. Smolka missing 2 shots over the net. He had wide open top corners and missed the net to the same spot. It'll be an interesting final 20 minutes because this game is, by all means, within reach of Niagara. It's 1 defensive error by SU away from a tie game.
We've already seen that those errors have come in bunches, especially in that first period. So stuff to look out for in the third period. Goals there in the second from Franzese and Hayward, second for Syracuse. After Niagara had tied it up with 3, with 2 goals in a span of 10 seconds. SU responds. Peters puts another one in, though. And it's a 1-goal deficit for the visitors going into the third period. We'll pause for the second mission, but bring you back those final 20 minutes right here on the SU Hockey Network. Big third period upcoming at the Tennessee Ice Pavilion between Syracuse and Niagara. The Orange with a slim 5-4 advantage over the Purple Eagles with 20 minutes remaining. Dana Gray, Corey Bavarian here with you on the campus of Syracuse University. Corey, SU has had two separate two-goal leads throughout regulation. They haven't been able to hang on to either so far. This Purple Eagles team just won't go away.
Yeah, they're very tenacious and able to take advantage of the SU giveaways in their defensive zone. Now, both teams have given it away a fair amount, but Syracuse hasn't capitalized far nearly as much as Niagara. We said right before going to break, one or two defensive errors that are capitalized upon by Niagara, whole new hockey game.
Franzese meets Vecchio at center ice, and we are underway for the third period. Syracuse led 3-1. They led 5-3. First time the Purple Eagles responded with 2 goals in the span of 10 seconds. And they trail by 1 here, and the physicality upped in just the initial seconds of this third period. Corcoran getting late the net. Bodies flying everywhere in front of the crease. Kuzo got a stick on it, and Corcoran is down on both his knees. And because of that, play is stopped. Kuzo had it take an awkward bounce. It looked like off the stanchion, went off his stick into the blue paint. And Patrick Corcoran doing everything and anything to keep it out.
And giving up his body, quite literally, asked to come out of the game. I think he collided with someone, perhaps a teammate, or perhaps the net, which was out of its moorings, as Kuzo tried to save himself and ultimately did.
Wild stuff here in the first minute of the third as the Purple Eagles try to equalize once again. Van Heck slips, pops right back up, and sends Prestamo in on a rush in the offensive zone. Prestamo's shot is deflected up and out of play by the stick of Patrick Romano. Offensive zone trying to come for the Cuse with 50 seconds gone in this third period. 2 goals from Peter Owen Hayward, a marker from Franzese, Prestamo, and Van Heck as well make up the 5 for the Orange. That fourth line hasn't recorded a goal yet for Syracuse, but they've served valuable minutes. Is Hayward does a full circle in neutral ice, slides it for Rosen, who sends in. Acker paddles it away from Van Heck approaching. Padalino keeps it in. A good bounce off the end boards for Van Heck to work with. High backhand pass into the corner. Prestamo there, and Hayward digs it out. To the back, Rosen shot. Might have been tipped and a save by Acker. It comes all the way out to neutral ice. A new look line here for the Orange. Gazowitz into the corner. Meets Rosen. He drops his stick, and the puck continues its marker. All the way to the back at the point, it's David Hazlitt. He sends it around. Rosen waiting for it, is stripped though, fed out in the slot, and Kuzo with the pads down denies McNamara from the circle. Right off the bench with a head of steam, here's Connor Preston, stick checked away by Stewart. High-flying action in the opening stages of this third period as Kuzo gloves the shot from field. He'll hold for a drop.
Important to note, going into the third period, final 2 minutes of the second period, Syracuse killed off a power play for Niagara that yielded many chances. So if you believe in momentum swings, that could be one going into this final frame for SU.
That PK has been perfect for the Orange so far today. Prestamo, the bookends of the 5 goals that have been scored today by SU.
SU is doing this all without Matt Jacobs, who's out of the lineup today. Cannot play at 6 points on the year in 6 games. A big loss for the Orange, but they've made up well for his absence.
One of the more steady offensive weapons that the Orange has, with some leadership as well, one of the upperclassmen forwards. David Hazlitt scoops it away from the pressure. McNamara has it tied up in his skates, and he turns the puck over to Franzese. Bedford out there as well, mucking for it. And now Preston will go off for a change, bringing on McNamara. A shot from Bedford is blocked away in front, and David Fish turns the net and skies it out into neutral ice. Nice job to go from aerial stick to skate with field. who pulls up, but he loses it. And Harrington wants to start the rush 2-on-2 with Franzese in the slot, tied up in his skates. And the rush is stopped. Corcoran will dump it in. Franzese's had a great game, buzzing around the ice and finished off that beautiful passing play on the power play for SU's 5th goal. Corcoran ahead for Harrington over the blue line, and Harrington can't straddle that blue line. As McNamara had to pull up offsides on SU.
We're used to seeing Ford Hatchett be the ultimate factor on the defensive side. Haven't really called his name all that much. Has one assist on the night, but hasn't laid out too many big hits. Just hasn't really been as much of a factor for the Orange on the defensive end.
Canacorn in on Acker. Neil Glove for a faceoff. 16:24 to go in this third period. In both the first two frames, we saw goals coming in the first 5 minutes. None yet. Same scoreline. Prestamo tripped off right off the draw. And that'll draw a penalty. Nice job by Lucas Prestamo. Right off the faceoff, he bunted it in front for himself. Tried to approach it and was hacked down. Justin Crawford will sit for 2 minutes, and SU to the power play, trying to regain that 2-goal advantage.
Yeah, it's a play we don't see all that much. Trying to run into the draw yourself, go straight on goal. He had a pathway, but was tripped up on his way to the crease. Easy call for the official.
So 2 minutes of power play time to work with, 5-on-4 for the Orange. Hayward, McNamara, Harrington, the forward grouping, along with Hatchett and Corcoran, this top unit out there for the Cutes. Vecchio and Hayward for the draw to the right of Acker. One back, but off the skate of Patty Corcoran. And the Orange has to reset in neutral ice. Corcoran takes his space, flips it into the offensive zone. Harrington going in on the forecheck, trying to force the turnover, and Hayward to pick it up behind the goal line. Back out for Harrington straight away. Cato plays catch with Hatchett. Corcoran walking his way in, deflected under the body of Acker, and he's got it. Connor McNamara was right in the blue paint, got a piece of that initial shot, and I don't think the goaltender for Niagara knew exactly where that was.
Oh, he never had it. It went right through his wickets, and he sat on that puck, and when he leaned back into the net was underneath his legs. Officials blew the play dead because they lost sight of it.
Good break there for Niagara. Stays a 1-goal game for the moment. Hatchett at the blue line, tosses it near corner. McNamara, a swim move to keep possession. Hatchett with a sharp angle shot that's blocked out in front, and the puck travels near side. Maybe an outlet for the Eagles to clear here, but a great bat check from Hayward goes for naught as the puck trickles back towards Hatchett. Minute to go on the power play for the Orange, leading by a goal. Ford Hatchett, the tall SU defenseman, settles things down and revamps the rush with Lucas Prestamo, speed over the line. Prestamo drew the penalty, and he kicks it right through the crease before the puck is sent all the way back down towards Michael Kuzo. Not much doing so far on the power play for the Orange. Hasn't gotten a real clean setup yet. See if they get it here with 40 seconds to go in the power play, and Franzese sends it in. First to it, though, is Stewart, defenseman for Niagara. Franzese with a great keep at the far point, but he sends it right back to Stewart. And a clear successful for Niagara.
Orange mixing up defensive pairings. Luke Cato with Stephen Bresci. One first line on right defense and the other second line on left defense on this power play.
10 seconds to go on the advantage. Pucciarelli getting some power play time along with Preston. Bresci can't keep it in as it was flipped out towards the Niagara bench. See where this faceoff comes. They're going to bring it back into the zone. 6 ticks to go on the power play before Justin Crawford will exit the box. SU's got to be cautious, especially with these single-digit remaining faceoffs on the power play when you've got someone coming out of the box. Panalino off the draw, dumps it down the boards, and Hazlitt possesses. Backhanded out to center, back to 5-on-5. The kill successful for the Purple Eagles and a big one. SU still clinging to that 1-goal margin. Into the body of Bedford, does a nice job to scoot it ahead for Pucciarelli. He can't maintain possession though, and the Eagles go D to D. Hazlitt waiting for the forecheck to break and decides to take it himself, skates through his own zone, takes a big hit for his trouble, and Pucciarelli returns the favor. Padalino just off the tape of Pucciarelli. They can't keep the zone, and Vecchio wants transition. Purple Eagles into the offensive zone with 6 minutes gone in the third period, trailing by a goal. Here's Christian Van Heck. He's got Prestamo with him, trying to feed the middle, and a pad save by Acker. Going against the grain, Prestamo's deflection looked like it was destined to find the back of the net, and the Purple Eagles goaltender has other ideas. Hayward muffs the one-timer, and the puck trickles out to center. Cato, a drop pass. Van Heck, fourth line grinder in there, feeds the top scorer for SU, and Hayward behind the net. Hatchett finds it. Now Cato with some time and space, deflected out in front, another save by Acker, this with the right pad. Two phenomenal chances for Syracuse on the deflection. And they can't beat the Niagara goaltender, coming in waves once again. Here's McNamara over the line. Has the puck knocked off momentarily. Screams it in. And now near side Corcoran. Corcoran for Harrington. Looking all the way across. Brezzi to pick it up. And a whistle. A slash. Called on Niagara. Guess who it is, Corey?
Is it David Fish?
It'll be David Fish.
For the third time.
They get 6 penalty minutes. And Syracuse will have another chance to make good on that power play. Interestingly enough, the minutes that followed that unsuccessful advantage were very good offensively.
David Fish right now a penalty magnet, as I like to say, for this Niagara side. Orange have been successful on their power play, looking for some more insurance here in the third.
Off the draw, SU controls. Franzese moves it down low. Prestamo, and Tripp finishes it off. Second goal of the game for Tripp Franzese, a 6-pack for the Orange, and SU leads by 2 once again here in the third period.
How about the effort on the power play all night long for the Orange against Stony Brook? In the first game especially, almost non-existent on special teams. They've had a perfect penalty kill and a lights-out power play. SU changing things on the special team side, and they've got a 2-goal lead.
That's the difference right now. SU leads 6-4, and the 3 power play goals make up for that difference. SU back out in front by 2 goals. Touched into an area for Pucciarelli. He drops it back for a Preston shot. It never made its way all the way through. Nice read from Corcoran, who bumps it into space for Pucciarelli. Dangles past one behind the net. Feeds it out into the blue paint. Preston coming. Puts it down to his stick. And he can't get the shot on net. Gazowitz over the line. A drop pass into the circle. A shot deflected. Never got through to Kuzo. High off glass by Bedford. And Brezzi gets on his horse. He's got Preston waiting in the middle if he can get it to him. Stephen Brezzi, the defenseman, evades the check of one and keeps puck possession. Preston, rink-wide feed for Harrington. Has it poked away, but Franzese straight back to get it. Cato near side. Leaves it for Brezzi, his defense partner. SU using every single inch of the offensive zone, trying to set something up. Brezzi in a foot race, no icing, waved off as Christopher Gazowitz nicks it. And now a whistle. And the goaltender, Curtis Acker, has a wardrobe malfunction with the right pad. Maybe even his right skate. He's taken off the pad.
It's weird seeing a goalie without his pad on. Just completely threw it off.
11:09 to go in the third period. As Acker attends to his skate blade, it looks like. Or maybe even just tying the skate. That's an important thing to do.
He's tying that right skate.
Maybe in one of those scrums, something came loose. Nevertheless, SU, a 2-goal lead has been restored by Tripp Franzese. his second goal, his second power play goal. And both in similar matters, just timing plays out in front. He's a short little guy, easy to get lost in the fray. And the penalty killers didn't pick him up.
Yeah, short guy getting lost in the fray. I know the feel, but Trip Francisi, he's got some speed. He's got speed, and he can get himself in scoring areas and put it through. And again, as you said, he's only 5'7". People overlook a guy like that.
Senior playing in his 100th game in orange. From Marblehead, Massachusetts, just listed at 5'7", but he has almost 100 career points for the Orange. He's been a great addition to this forward grouping. Been pretty much a top 6 forward for most of his time at SU. Alrighty, looks like Curtis Acker's skating around in front of his net. Looks to be ready to go. Just over 11 minutes remaining in regulation. Syracuse trying to hang on against a formidable non-conference opponent in Niagara. These two used to be conference opponents back in the NECHL, a grouping that Syracuse inhabited for many years before making the switch just a couple of seasons ago to the ESCHL. Sent down, Hayward using the long strides to cancel the icing. Prestamo blows a tire. SU can't keep it in the offensive zone. Hayward rips it right back in. Acker out of his net to set it up on a tee for Kovtunov. But Hayward scraps it, shoots it in. And a save made by Acker with Van Heck right in front, giving him no time and space. It's crazy to think that Curtis Acker has made 34 shots. I would make the argument that none of those have come easily. There's been bodies and sight lines blocking him for pretty much the entirety of regulation.
Absolutely, and Kuzo has only got 15 saves on 19 shots. That's less than 80% save percentage, but he has not had a bad game by any measure of the word.
Fourth line out for the Cuse. Preston holds the zone momentarily. Preston can't do the same, and coming back in transition, it's Frank Vecchio. Dips the shoulder, paddle down for Kuzo, spanks the rebound to the boards, and a penalty upcoming. Rosen's going to go. SU touches up.
And that was a completely accidental penalty. Rosen was going down. I think he was bumped down and got the stick in between the legs of Justin Crawford, 37 in black. And Rosen, I believe, is going to go.
Coaching staff for the Cuse not too pleased with the call. But David Rosen will go to the sin bin. And Niagara a chance to score their first power play goal. SU's been 3 for 3 on the penalty kill. Owen Harrington to take the penalty killing face-off to start off the 2 minutes. He wins it. Brezzi tries to play it to himself, but it's intercepted by Peters, one of the goal scorers for Niagara. A sharp angle shot, bumbles through the blue paint. Kuzo down, the net comes off. And a whistle. Corcoran doing a great job of knocking Gazowitz to the ice. Make sure he didn't get a good try at that rebound.
And Gazowitz knocked the net out at the moorings. That ball, you said bumbling. It was certainly bumbling. The puck, was bumbling around on the blue paint. And Kuzo, I'm not sure if he knew where that puck was. That was just one shot away from going in. They had half the net wide open.
Those can sometimes be the most difficult. Those ones on edge that you just can't really track. At the top, Vecchio rims it near side. Stephen Brezzi applying some good PK pressure and allows for the easy clear from Harrington. That's just great tandem work between defender and forward. Brezzi wins the battle. Harrington with the clear. Hazlitt walled off in the neutral zone and gets pushed into the offensive zone, forcing Niagara to have to wait to tag things up. Now Pucciarelli finishes his check. Hatchet gets to it first on the far side, and the Orange sends it down. It looks like clinical work from this PK unit for Syracuse.
Yeah, you wonder why they're perfect on the power play, or on the penalty kill, rather. Now, Niagara's power play has only gotten a few chances all game on easily 5 or 6 chances. We don't have the numbers on that. But SU, it's been night and day from last week to this week on the man down.
Offsides called on Niagara. Obviously a difference in the opponent, or at least with the power play unit, but still. To not only keep a team scoreless, special team-wise, but also to limit their opportunities where it makes things pretty routine for your pocket. Rebound came close as Kuzo is out of position. Niagara maintains possession. Near side circle, McNamara dangles on his back end, feeds Fish right from the goal line. And the face-off will upcome another time that the net has been dislodged.
I'm not sure what's under those nets. There should be magnets or pegs or something.
It's not much, Corey.
No.
We've been watching games here for about 3 or 4 years now, and not much improvement has come on the moorings. There might not even be moorings, to be quite honest with you. It seems like they just slide off, but
There've got to be magnets or something there. Nothing's holding the net in.
Helps for goaltenders.
We just call them moorings because that's what we're used to people saying.
Right. Does help for guys like Michael Kuzo with a lot of pressure in front of the net. That play has to be blown dead if it comes off. 5 ticks to go in the power play for Niagara. Gets stuck in the skates of Stewart. Harrington loses an edge, but the penalty kill successful. Make it 4 for 4. And Syracuse in business, up 2 with 8 minutes to go in regulation. Battled for right in front of us. Prestamo had a hold of Smolka, who dumps it in. Brezzi will settle things down. Right behind Kuzo, looking for a clean outlet. Goes indirect off the boards. Read well by the defenseman Stewart. He was trying to hook up with Prestamo. Now back over the line, the Eagles come. Pucciarelli, well, now they want transition. It's Kovtunov, the defenseman, going very wide and shoots it off the pad of Kuzo. Rebound far side, loose out in the slot, and glove down by Cato. All the way out to the blue line, and Pucciarelli goes glove to stick. Over the red line, now the blue. Joey Pucciarelli sticked away by Acker. He'll get to his own rebound behind the net, trying to go 1 against 3. Stapling in Kovtunov behind the point. Shot from Preston is stopped. Pucciarelli down in front of the net, blocking the vision. But Acker saw it all the way. And the Purple Eagles will dump out as SU's in the midst of a change with under 7 minutes to go. Leading by 2. Corcoran up ahead, deflected in, no icing by Preston. Hazlitt scoops it up, own with possession.
And when they do get in the zone, they're often not getting a shot off. They're trying to make a quick pass, and it fails against the SU defense.
Great forecheck here from the Cuse. Franzese with 2 goals already today. Dangling behind the goal line. Stays with the play, and it flubs all the way out to the blue line. Rosen away from Van Heck. McNamara with a body draped on his back. Gets it away momentarily, and Syracuse can keep it. Van Heck keeps sending it down further. Extended zone time for SU, continuing to mount. Rosen can't hold the line, and it's out to center. Franzese for a streaking Peter Owen Hayward, going all the way around the net, taking a tour of the offensive zone. And the whistle, now it's this net that's come off. Unfortunate. Hayward seemed like he had something going with 5:29 to go in regulation. 2-goal lead for the Cuse.
I feel like if there's a 2-on-1, the goalie can just, discreetly blow on the goalpost and it'll come out. It feels like that, hasn't it? We get at least 5 or 6 of these every game.
Even just like a little nudge on the back post might do the trick.
The refs would never know.
The game within the game. Offensive zone draw for Syracuse, and they control it. Padalino in on net, and a glove save made by Acker. Hayward was trying to get a stick on it. And speaking of sticks, he tosses Patrick Romanos all the way across the rink.
How rude of you, Peter. My goodness. Well, how about that first shot? The goalie couldn't make the play on it, and Peter Owen Hayward was already charging the net, nearly had some loose change. Is there a reason why he could have thrown the stick like that? Was there a trash talk going on?
You'd have to think, especially in the later stages of the game. Words exchanged, things lost some of the velocity, and he keeps the blue line once again for a moment, but has to retreat all the way back to center as Daniel Smolka turns it over. Bedford shot, blocker save. The rebound is spiked wide by Preston. Hit a yawning cage, and he couldn't find the twine. Under 5 to go. Fourth line for the Cuse out right now. Gibson Stewart, defenseman for Niagara, sets up the neutral ice pass over the line. Logan Field pulls up, dumps it in, tries the return from David Fish. Hatchet, big body, fence off Fish like it's nothing. And Cuse sent it out to center. Smolka gets nothing on the dump in, and Harrington dangles over the blue line. McNamara in a battle in front of the Niagara bench with Franzese and Harrington out there as well. Tripp going for the hat trick. He's got 2 goals. He has the puck now into the zone, takes the slap shot right off the legs in front of Hazlitt. Rebound to the zone, Boney Doors. McNamara up top with Rosen. He gets it straight back by the circle, looking for Padalino, and a nice stick by Troy Pulley out to center. 3:30 remaining in regulation. Syracuse up by 2, but a lead pass ahead and a shot that misses barely from Andrew Parrish. Another tumbling puck in the slot. Rosen and Padalino connect. Ahead for Harrington, for Van Heckenstride over the line. Christian Van Heck pulls up by the circle. Teammates in a change. He finds the trailer in Hayward right off the bench. Right back to Van Heck. He shoots, and a save made by Acker, moving right to left. Hayward to get to it in the corner. Takes a check, and Vecchio backhands up to the top.
How often do you see forecheck like that up by 2 with 4 minutes to go?
Just the way that this team plays. Here's Preston with some space in the slot, shoots, and he hits the iron. Connor Preston walked all the way into the slot. He beat the goaltender, and he couldn't beat the pipe.
Goaltender's best friend, those red metal pipes.
Here's Preston again into the slot. Pucciarelli off the bench, sends it to the corner for Bedford. Great extended zone time for Syracuse. Preston from the corner, and a glove save of sorts from Acker as he just stamps the marker right in the blue paint. Finally give the Purple Eagles a breath.
He just Michael Jordan that just palmed that puck.
A little easier when you've got a giant white glove to work with.
And more equipment issues here for Acker.
I mean, you'd like to think that maybe he could just figure things out. He's only got 2 minutes, 15 seconds to work with.
The final total just announced for Pink the Rink, $6,088.
Incredible stuff for Syracuse in their second annual Pink the Rink event. Raised $5,000 entering today for the Susan G. Komen of Onondaga County, topping the goal of $2,018, and this year the goal of $3,700. They smoked it, almost doubled it.
$3,700 was last year's total, and as you said, nearly doubling that. Plenty of fans actually in attendance today, certainly adding to the total.
Raised over $1,000. Great stuff from the SU hockey team. 2:13 to go in regulation. Syracuse leading at 6-4 over Niagara. Franzese wins the draw, slaps it back for Hatchet, who shot from 80 feet, is blockered away. Space for McNamara in the slot. Fends off the back pressure of Fish. Connor McNamara around the night tries the wraparound, and Harrington gets to the rebound behind. Pass just didn't have enough juice on it for Franzese. Cato pinches him, and Tripp turns the corner. Working it to himself, Fish intercepts. McNamara helps. Syracuse trying to hold the line, and they do so. Tripp Franzese, a great play while his momentum was pulling him out of the zone. He slid it right back in.
The way the Orange are playing, you'd think they were down 2 goals.
Here's Van Heck with a shot, and a blocker save from Acker. Hatchet working his way down the far side. Stapled into the boards by 2 Purple Eagles. Some shoves taken by Prestamo as well as we approach the 1-minute mark of the third period.
Acker can't get out of his net.
Working it for Van Heck behind the net, into the slot for Hayward. His shot took a deflection and missed wide. Now finally backhanded high off glass. Rosen back for the touch-up, and icing called. Niagara bench doesn't love it. They thought David Rosen might have nursed that a tad. But SU will get an offensive zone face-off with 54.6 to go, and you're right there, Corey. Acker can't leave the cage for the extra attacker. I believe a timeout has been called by the visiting Purple Eagles. Not a lot of hope. Still, though, crazier things would happen. Final minute of play, down by 2 goals. Purple Eagles up against it, about to face a defensive zone draw. Ideally, you just want to win it and see if you can pull your goaltender?
Just about. You're going to have to fly the zone really quickly, and it'll take about 7 to 10 seconds to get that 6th skater on, assuming that the goaltender is going to be in his crease and goes to the bench. Thankfully, it's the bench closest to his goal in the 3rd period, so it will be a little bit of a quicker transition. That being said, you get the 6-on-5. The way the Orange have been playing, their forecheck, you can only imagine it'll only be a matter of time until they can put one in the empty net, because Niagara has just not been there on offense in this 3rd period, setting up chances.
Oh, my God. 49 shots for Syracuse to Niagara's 23, more than doubling them up. They lead it 6-4. 42 saves for Curtis Acker, who's been busy. And he'll hope to make a push to the bench sometime in this final minute. Puck drop, Franzese wins the draw back for Corcoran. Sends it off the dasher, Franzese turning away in the goal line, killing off valuable seconds. Pucciarelli back there as well. Finally, Vecchio will peel away and send it up and out of the zone. It took a deflection, and icing called, though. Lucky break for the Cuse. Looked like that went off the hand of Pucciarelli. Referees didn't see it. And the draw back towards Curtis Acker with 33.4.
This game might end without Acker ever being able to clear his crease. The only times the puck has left the zone in the last minute and a half were icings.
Just goes to show how good Syracuse can be when they want that all-out pressure that they've showcased over the remaining stages of this 3rd period. Corcoran down to a knee to glove it and sends it in perfectly played into the final 20 seconds. Prestamo by the circles had it jump over his stick. Ryan Peters finally sets it up. Scrapes it around far side, but Harrington there. Harrington for Stephen Brezzi, the defenseman, over the line. Shoots, paddle down for Acker with 1.6 to go.
And Acker never did leave his crease. There wasn't enough time for him to do it and for it to be worthwhile. Just one more superfluous face-off. And really, a gutsy performance by Niagara, but Syracuse showing its offensive power.
Puck is dropped, just formalities, and the Cuse hangs on. They beat down on Niagara 6-4 in front of a packed house at Tenerife Ice Pavilion on Pick the Rink night. Syracuse victorious. 3 power play goals for the Orange and a perfect penalty kill. A game of special teams against a non-conference opponent, Corey, that you knew was going to show up, you knew was going to play you hard, but Syracuse never got away from the game plan for the most part. Maybe not their best full 60, but they get enough to get the 2 points.
Yeah, if last year's game was any indication between these two, it was 7-4 for Syracuse. This one 6-4. You knew the goal scoring was going to be at the forefront of this. 10 goals overall, 50 shots for the Orange against only 23. The defensive effort was there, but it's not something that Connor Tracy is going to like. And that's the good thing about playing a non-conference opponent. I'm not going to say a filler game or a warm-up game, but it's a good time to test out your special teams and your defense here. One worked, the other not so much.
Trip Franzese and Peter Owen Hayward each with 2 goals. Connor McNamara and Christian Van Heck add tallies as well. Those make up to 6 for Syracuse. Michael Kuzo, the victor, his 2nd win of the season. He stops 19 of the 23 Purple Eagles shots. And Syracuse rolls on to victory. They win 6-4 here at the Tenerife Ice Pavilion in front of a packed house and also in front of a weekend tilt, as you mentioned, with the Blue Hens, and some more divisional points up for grabs. But we'll say goodbye for now and catch you next weekend right back here on the SU Hockey Network. For Corey Barbarian and Frankie Ranowski, I'm Dana Gray saying so long. Thanks for spending some of your Saturday with us. We hope you enjoyed it. The Q's victorious 6-4 and raising a lot of money for a really good cause.